Hello and welcome to this new grandMA3 tutorial. In this tutorial I would like to recreate the action buttons known from the grandMA2 software in the grandMA3 software. So let's jump right into it. Here you can see the grandMA2 software, and I made a view with some action buttons in here. So as you might know, you can click one of these. Maybe we set up the wash moving lights to 100% and the spot moving lights also to 100%. We could give them a focus. Maybe we make the wash lights wide and the spotlights narrow, and we could also give them a position. Let's do a fan out with the wash lights and a cross look with the spotlights. Down here you can use the action buttons like you would use a color picker. We give the wash lights a blue color and the spotlights a red color. Here in this layout view you can see it already worked quite well. The wash lights are at 100% and the spotlights are also at 100%. Both change colors, and here in the stage/3D view you can see that the positions changed. In the grandMA2 software you cannot see the focus if it's near or wide. So let's go back and change the position, maybe to a center position for both fixture types, and let's see if it worked. Yeah, it worked right as we would expect it. So let's jump right into the grandMA3 software and take a look at how we can adapt the same kind of action buttons in this software. Down in the bottom left corner I have a layout view, and in the bottom right corner I have a 3D view. And let's try to do the same things. Here I have action buttons where I can change the intensity of the wash lights and the spotlights. Here I can change the beam size for both of them. Here I can change a position, and you see that works quite well. And let's change the color. So as you might have seen now, I had to step through all the steps in this sequence. What's the problem in this software version? I'm using software version 1.9.7.0, that you can let the sequence pool do a Goto action. A workaround I did is I made a quickie pool, made a Goto action, and now if I click the Goto action and click the, for example, the intensity sequence, so we go to 10%, that is the workaround. It's not that fast as it was in the grandMA2 software, but that's the only way at this moment of time in this software version. I thought you could take this as a workaround. You can do the same thing for maybe the positions. So, and let's make them a bit brighter again and maybe give them another color. So you see that it works quite similar, but not exactly as it did in the grandMA2 software. So it's not quite as good as it was in the grandMA2 software yet. Maybe there's more to come. Now I would like to show you how I created this action button layout in the grandMA3 software. It's quite simple, but first I off all my sequences. Mainly I made a lot of sequences, and if you are interested in that, you can watch one of my other tutorials where I made a color picker in the sequence pool. Here I made some sequences with colors for all fixtures I have above here, the wash lights, the spotlights, and some LED fixtures. Down here I have an intensity for all the fixtures, zoom, narrow, medium, and wide. Shutter open, strobe slow, strobe medium, strobe fast, all positions, and the same for the different fixture types. So first you have to create these sequences. Then you can go in and make an empty view. And what you then can do is you take your sequence pool, get it to the size you like to have it, and then in the top left corner at the MA sign, you push once, and down here you can change the action this sequence pool should do. And if you do a right click, you can see these are the 5 actions you can do at the moment. You can tell it that it should select, flash, go plus, temp, or toggle. In my case, I like to have the color picker with a go plus. And then you do this for all the other stuff. So if you turn off the shortcuts, then it's a bit easier to scroll through with the arrow keys. So I'm scrolling through, and this takes a moment of time. So for example, if I like to have my all focuses around here, made that. Now I have to change from select to go plus. And for example, if I like to have the main intensity, oops, that was not that good, but I think you get what I mean. I go back to my action buttons layout. So it takes quite a lot of time to arrange it, and you lose one pool item because you always have this top left corner where you can change the settings by clicking on it. So here, for example, for the all intensities or the intensities of the different fixtures, I only could use a go plus action. Then I made a new sequence pool for the different focuses where I also used the go plus. For the strobe, I used the toggle, so you can make them shutter open, let it strobe, and because in the sequences of overwritten is on, you can change between them, but if you do a second press, it toggles it off. So you can see something, oops, here. I take my workaround with the Goto, and you can see that they work, and with one press more, they are offed. Yeah. That's the way I thought to do it. It's not quite as nice as in the grandMA2 software, as I mentioned earlier, but if you like the concept of action buttons, that's the thing you could do. In another tutorial, I would like to show you how to do the same concept with a layout view, where you have some more options. I like to show you a quick preview. Here I made a layout view laid the same sequences into it. All my sequences have appearances, and maybe let's make a 3D view so that you can see a little bit. In here, you can tell it that this has to be a Goto, which is quite nice. This one I didn't tell yet, only this one's, but for the position, for example, I told it to be a Go plus, and all the others are Go plus for the moment. One quick hint: if you want to change it, you have to activate setup, do right click, and then you have to change. Here you can see there are a lot more actions you can search between, or you can choose from. Which is quite nicer. And it doesn't take, I thought this took me quite less time than doing it with the sequence pool. So as you can see, I changed here from Go plus to toggle, and that's quite nicer. And you see this, all the sequences work in the layout view quite the same, or a bit nicer, I think. That was it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and maybe see you in the next tutorial where I go deeper into creating this layout view. Bye.